everybody. We dialed up some amazing weather for May 1st, the kickoff of Bike Month. Thank you all for coming out. My name is Danny Avula. I have the honor of serving as the mayor of this incredible city where we have done so much in the last few years to bring more walking, more biking, more multimodal transportation, and really to get people out of their offices, out of their homes, and enjoying not only the beautiful city, but also nature and green space. We have some exciting news. You're gonna hear from Secretary Donahue because we are launching Virginia's first bike trail plan, which is super exciting. You'll hear more about that soon. And I just want, this is spot, Kanawha Plaza, that will be the center point of the Fall Line Trail. Many of you know about the Fall Line Trail. Many of you know about the other great trails that exist here in Richmond. The Capitol Trail is one of those. It's one of my favorite spots to get out on. For a couple years ago, for my birthday, I actually rode the whole cap to cap out to Williamsburg. It's amazing. So thank you to all the people who have been invested in that over the years. We have an incredible group of partners that is helping to make the Fall Line Trail a reality. It's going to run all the way from Petersburg to Ashland. We've got, the state has been an incredible partner in that. CVTA, the Central Virginia Transportation Authority, has been an incredible partner in that. You'll hear from Chet in a bit. And how could I not mention sports backers and Bike Walk RVA, who have really been driving the strategy. You'll hear from Will Dixon, their CEO, in a bit. So really exciting lineup of these wonderful looking people here. And next up, I want to bring in our first gentleman, who is a great supporter of outdoor recreation, who loves to bike, who loves to be out on trails. First gentleman, Adam Spanberger.
How's it going, everyone? I'm Adam Spanberger, the first gentleman. I'm much more an avid cyclist than I am a public speaker, so please bear with me, but I didn't want to miss the opening of Bike Month here of May. It's Virginia Bike Month, so I'm gonna clap for Bike Month, and I'm happy that the mayor invited me to this event to kick off Bike Month and to celebrate all the incredible trails that we have here in Virginia, but certainly here in the Capitol in Richmond and across the Commonwealth. I have spent many time head down riding many of them, including the Capitol Trail, which I'll be riding next Saturday as well as part of Cap to Cap, the 21st year of that. So excited about that. Bike Month is something really simple at its core. It's about movement, access, and the joy of getting from one place to another and getting to know your neighbors and community along the way. It connects schools, parks, jobs, businesses all together, and that's what this Fall Line Trail is going to help do, is connect more of the Central Virginia region together. And the network is growing. Across the Commonwealth, there are now more than 1,600 miles of shared use paths and 1,000 miles of on-street bike lanes and hundreds of miles of other designated bike routes throughout the Commonwealth. And my goal over the next 4 years is to ride as many of them as I can on a bike and highlight them, because Virginia is a beautiful state with wonderful natural resources, and we should all get off our screens and get out and enjoy natural resources. And as first gentleman, I've heard directly from families about what it looks like to get outside in real life. I've been on some bike buses with kids who gain confidence by riding their bike to schools in groups, and families getting together and spending more time outside. And it allows people to discover different parts of the community around them and different people around them. And through outreach led by the Virginia Department of Transportation, people across the state have shared how important it is to have more options to safely incorporate walking and biking in their everyday lives. And that desire is reflected in Virginia's State Trails Plan. And this tradition of celebrating May as Virginia Bike Month, I'm excited to be highlighting the role that biking plays in supporting healthy communities, local economies, and tourism. So today, it's a special moment. Normally, my wife gets to have all the fun of handing out these proclamations. But on behalf of the governor, I'm proud to present this Bike Month proclamation to the Virginia Bicycle Federation President, John Hamilton. Thank you for your continued partnership and advocacy.
Thank you. On behalf of the Virginia Bicycling Federation, we'll take this proclamation, and the whereases are great, and I encourage everyone to read it here or online.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And with that, I am proud to turn it over to Virginia's Secretary of Transportation, Nick Donahue.
Well, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, Richmond. How are we? There we go. That's the energy we get at these types of, bike events. It's my honor and pleasure to serve as your Secretary of Transportation in the Spanberger administration. Really appreciate you guys coming out today for these types of events. The excitement we see at these types of events, to me, demonstrates what the types of trails that we're talking about today do in our communities. And so I'm really excited today to announce that we are releasing Virginia's first statewide multi-use trail plan. This is a really great accomplishment. It's the culmination of years of work by VDOT and their staff, but also, really importantly, of folks like you all. So VDOT worked with many different stakeholders, local governments. We actually had engagement by more than 6,000 Virginians as we worked to develop this plan. And again, I think that shows how much people care and value these types of assets that we're talking about today. I'd like to take a little bit of time to tell you maybe what I at least consider a funny story. Some of you may not know this, but I started working in transportation 20 years ago to this year. And one of the very, very first things I did was work on the Virginia Capitol Trail. So in 2 months, so July in 2026, your now Secretary of Transportation was walking ditches on Route 5 wearing boots and a suit for some reason. Not sure why we still had the suit jacket on, scouting out the route of the Capitol Trail. And it is just great to see things like the Capitol Trail come to completion. It's great to see new initiatives like the Fall Line come online and start to be developed to really bring these regional trails in place that show kind of the demand that we have in our communities for these assets. The statewide trail plan is not meant to be a static document. It's really meant to be a living, evolving document that will change over time. It lays out a framework to identify key regional connectors to help connect to Virginia's existing multi-use trails. So today, guys, we actually have a pretty good network. We have 1,600 miles of trails in Virginia, but we can benefit from more. And this trail plan identifies of around 3,000 additional miles of potential trails that are out there for local communities and others to consider as they think about where should they make their next investment in walking and biking infrastructure. These trails are really critical for our communities. They provide safe and accessible ways for all Virginians to get around on foot or on bike or rolling as they may choose to kind of get through those areas. The other thing this trail plan can really help folks do is see data about all these segments, understand how they might want to prioritize these trails as they think about where should we go next. We also have a state trails office that I want to commend for all the work that they've done. I see Angel Deem here, who helps oversee the division that leads that office here. They are as a resource to our local communities. We are here to help, engage, and provide technical assistance to folks as they think about the trails that they want to build. So again, it's my real pleasure to be with you here today to announce the release of this trails plan. And I appreciate everyone coming out here, really, especially the first gentleman, for his excitement and energy when it comes to biking and walking infrastructure. And it's my pleasure to now bring Chet Parson, the Executive Director of the Central Virginia Transportation Authority, up to the podium. Thank you so much. Chet, how are you, buddy?
Good afternoon and happy Bike Month. It is a real joy to be here with everyone today, and I appreciate the turnout. We're here to celebrate something bigger than just a trail, though, bigger than a single project and bigger than any one locality. Today, we're celebrating a regional commitment to connection, opportunity, and a healthier future. I want to begin by thanking the First Gentleman, Secretary Donahue, and Mayor Avula for convening this extraordinary group of leaders, advocates, and partners. Let's give everybody here a round of applause, please. It's an honor to stand with so many people who understand that active transportation is not just about how we move, but about how we live, how we connect, and how we build community. I bring you greetings from the Central Virginia Transportation Authority. At CVTA, our role is to help meet major regional transportation needs and to speed up our ability to plan, engineer, and deliver the projects that matter most. In our first 5 years, few commitments have been more meaningful or more transformative than the Fall Line Trail. What makes this moment so powerful is that our region has done more than talk about the importance of active transportation. CBTA has invested in it. Together, this region has committed $132.4 million to the Fall Line Trail alone. Yeah. And more than $150 million overall to bicycle and pedestrian infrastructure across our 9 localities. That level of investment says something important about who we are as a region. It shows that we understand active transportation is not an extra. It's a core part of how we connect people to jobs, schools, parks, neighborhoods, and opportunity. It strengthens quality of life, supports economic competitiveness, and helps build healthier, more connected communities. And perhaps most importantly, it says that we know how to work together. Because none of this happens by chance. Progress like this is built through partnership. It's built by leaders who see beyond jurisdictional lines and recognize that when one part of our region succeeds, we all succeed. The elected officials who serve on the CBTA have led with that spirit from the very beginning. They brought vision, collaboration, and a genuine commitment to making sure that no locality is left behind. Their leadership is the reason we're able to celebrate this moment today. And what a moment it is. In just about 6 years, an ambitious idea has become a 43-mile corridor in development. To the north, 4.6 miles are already complete through Ashland and Hanover County. In Henrico County, every section is fully funded and either in design or construction. To the south, VDOT is advancing 10 miles of trail from Petersburg north into Chesterfield County. Step by step, mile by mile, this vision is becoming real. And it'll all come together here at the James River, right over there, where the story of our region began. There's something fitting and inspiring about that. A trail that links communities across this region will meet at the place that has always connected us. That's the promise of the Fall Line Trail. So yes, today is a celebration, but it's also a reminder. Momentum matters, partnership matters, and leadership matters. And this region is proving what's possible by bringing all these things together. We've come a long way and the momentum is strong. Now let's keep pushing, keep partnering, and keep believing in what this project can mean for our communities. Thank you. And I have the distinct pleasure of welcoming to the podium one of our key partners in making sure that this project and all of our regional projects keep moving forward, Mr. Will Dixon from Sports Factors.
Chet and I need to start comparing notes because you're about to hear a lot of the same things you just heard from Chet, but hopefully that's a reflection of just how in sync we are and on the same page we are with this huge regional project. It was actually only a handful of months ago that Chet and I shared another podium as we cut the ribbon for the northernmost completed section with VDOT, Ashland, Hanover, and Henrico representatives. So any chance we get to celebrate this great project, it's an honor, and today is no exception. It's worth noting though that days like today were just a dream, just a short handful of years ago. The concept of the Fall Line began with a line on the map. It was really connecting opportunity from jurisdiction to jurisdiction, from Ashland to Petersburg. And it's taken lots of dedication, many years, and long-term commitment to get to where we are today. And at one point, a 43-mile-long continuous trail from Ashland to Petersburg felt pretty far-fetched. It felt ambitious. It links 7 jurisdictions, 2 planning districts, and we wanted to do it in a way that didn't just serve us all recreationally, but also serve as a transportation corridor and as an opportunity for economic development throughout the entire region. So slowly ideas moved into action, and through a combination of local, regional, and state funding, to date over $300 million has been committed to this project. Nearly 5 miles are paved, open, and widely used every single day. If you have not been on the northernmost 5 miles, go out there. It's beautiful. They've done a wonderful job. I actually saw Angela out there just a couple weekends ago. I have run it and ridden it and actually been on my one wheel on it. It is awesome. And at least another 12 miles will be under construction this year alone, with the remainder of the corridor, as Chet alluded to, in various stages of development and funding. And our goal, Sportsbacker's goal, when we first drew that line on that map, is really the same today as it was then, and it's really to tap into the potential benefits that this trail can bring our entire region. But in order to do that, we needed to ask questions, we needed to learn, do research, We need to engage residents here and also travel throughout the country to see how others were doing it in other regions. And so we were fortunate to get some funding from some donors, and we're able to take dozens and dozens of local officials, planning, transportation, funders, other stakeholders from throughout the community to go see what these other regions had done well, how they'd make their trail systems work, but also where they screwed up and what they learned along the way. And we came back a stronger region with a more cohesive and shared vision for what this Fall Line Trail is going to be. Really, that's only a part of the equation, because then we needed the stakeholder input from here, from the people that live here, the people that this trail is actually built for. And so again, through private funding, we were able to host hundreds of stakeholder meetings to develop the Fall Line Vision Plan. And what the Vision Plan did was really, it identified places for public-private investment along this entire corridor, from the arts to parks to business development and trail-oriented development along the entire thing. Ultimately, the trail will be a backbone for connectivity, a canvas for creative expression, and a catalyst for development. It's going to create a sense of place, telling stories of our past, celebrating our creative culture, and showcasing our region's natural beauty. Under-resourced stretches will be infused with new opportunity, and active transportation will become second nature, where riding, walking, running in spaces fully separated from all automobile traffic will become more accessible and protected, delivering tangible health and safety benefits to everyone in our region. And one final lesson we learned, and why it's important that we're standing here today, is that you can't do this around the edges. You got to go into the heart of it all, where the people are already living, where they're playing, where they're gathering. And that's when you get to unlock all these benefits. When communities see themselves reflected in the trail, it becomes part of their daily lives. It becomes part of who they are and how they experience the place where they live, work, and play. And the Fall Line doesn't work without commitments from the Commonwealth, without the commitments of the neighboring jurisdictions to the north and the south, but it certainly doesn't work without the commitments and the vision of the leaders right here in the city of Richmond. And there's still work ahead, but the direction is clear. If we continue to focus on collaboration, community engagement, and steady progress, the Fall Line will become a defining asset for our region. So thank you to Chet, the CVTA, First Gentleman Spanberger, Mayor Avula, and thank you to the passionate residents and leaders throughout this region for helping shape and sharing in this vision with us. We're thrilled with the progress so far and look forward to many more reasons to celebrate for years to come. With that, it's my pleasure to introduce Andy Baino, Director of the Richmond Department of Transportation. Thank you.
Thanks for coming out to the Bike Month Happy Hour. They put me last because they knew I was going to give a TED Talk for 15 minutes, and there's a time limit apparently. First, though, I want to thank our state and regional partners, because it takes a lot of resources to design and build great projects. So I'll keep facing towards the mic, but thank you guys behind me on behalf of these different organizations that are sharing these resources. The city is fortunate to have a really strong team of transportation engineers led by Mike Sawyer, over here. This team knows how to deliver on the mayor's commitment to building a city for people of all ages and abilities to ride bikes. And I also want to acknowledge our several consultant teams who do all kinds of heavy lifting for us while we're at the office with our feet up on a chair. But there's truly a great number of consulting firms that have been working on bike infrastructure projects throughout the country, and it's a pleasure to work with them. Right now at the city, we're working with a budget of $1.2 billion with a B, $1.2 billion to make improvements at over 2,000 locations. There's never been a safer time to get around Richmond on a bike, and we're continually improving the street and trail network so that biking is a practical form of transportation. It's easy to think about the recreational side of it. Transportation, though, is the core. We want it to be intuitive and easy and convenient for anybody to get around on a bike. And that's what Bike Month celebration is ultimately about: freedom. Trails are paths to freedom, Bicycles are tools of independence, independent kids, independent seniors, mobility freedom for all of us in between. I'd encourage you after this event, take a look at some of the exciting work that's happening where we're connecting people north and south of the river. Warwick Road, Belt Boulevard, Hopkins Road, the new James River Branch Trail, and then of course the epic Fall Line Trail. And I'll leave you with one reminder and one suggestion. The reminder is, don't park in bike lanes. I know none of you will. You're all here for the Bike Month happy hour, so you're not parking bike lanes, but spread the word. If you do, it's dangerous and you're gonna get a ticket. Don't park in bike lanes. And that includes that painted buffer area in between the parked cars and where people ride bikes. Don't put your car tires in there. And the second thing, the suggestion I'll give you is meet up with one of the many family-friendly bike groups that are throughout the city. I've been finding that several of these groups know each other, but then there's a whole lot around the city in different neighborhoods that just pop up among neighbors and do a little ride on low-stress streets. Sometimes it's a bike bus where families get together and their kids, a few parents guide kids to school. Sometimes it's grown-ups, but generally these are slow rolls throughout the city. It's a fantastic way to experience Richmond. And as you go, you'll start seeing more and more of the bike infrastructure that's coming. I can't tell you how many times I've been walking through the neighborhood or sitting on the porch and there goes one in front of my street. One time I was able to move fast enough to hop on my bike and go join, but I strongly encourage you, look up one of these group rides and just join them. Pretty soon, so many of us will be riding around town that every month is going to be Bike Month. And one fine day, Richmond will be recognized for its world-class infrastructure and its delightful bicycle culture. Thanks to all of you for celebrating that journey with us.
I love it. Some Bike Month chants. That's our program for today. Thank you guys so much for coming out. Thank you for your enthusiasm. Happy Bike Month. Enjoy this weather and let's get out on bikes, everybody.